few months after I start It's for Peace on YouTube, we were living in another state, and we moved, and I was always changing comments or talking to people on YouTube about religion, churches, and I was surprised to see one church offending another, and people from one church offending people from another church. And I didn't like that. I could not understand if all churches praise one God and they have a God in common. Why do you offend one another? And it must be because of the church per se. I mean, the creeds or whatever. So it was a little was no good to watch that. I remember I made some comments about it, and we exchanged comments, and I received, or I commented on someone who wrote something, but I do remember I used very short comments like yes or no, and that was obvious. I mean, there is nothing to say in between about God if it's not just yes or is just no. So, and I received a very long comment back to me from someone. I don't know if it's a man, a woman, but clearly was someone very much inside of, I believe, Catholic church, religion, I don't know, faith, and all was like pages in one comment back to me, and I could not understand. I mean, I read, but was like jargons in religious way, not legal way, but jargons in religion way. I believe was a priest, or I don't know. And I started crying because I could not understand. And the comment should be about God and simple things, but he wrote as a scholar, and I was petrified. There was nothing there. There was not a word about God. It was just about the church and that salvation for this person was to go to church every Sunday and have communion, and much more things, again, in jargons, religion jargons, that I was desperate. I was like, oh my gosh, they don't know God. They know the church, but they don't know God. And I started crying. I was desperate. I I I walked away. I At that time I used a little computer, a kind of laptop, very very small, very simple. And I left. I was crying. My mother looked at me. What's going on? And I walked to the kitchen, and I was crying. I was desperate because was someone from the church, maybe a priest or someone in the high rank at the church, because of the way they wrote pages and pages. I mean, you can tell it was a lot. And I start talking to Father, Lord, they don't know you. They don't know you. They don't know you. You need to come. Please, Father, you need to come back. They need to know you. They need to see you. They need to know you. Now I'm talking to you, but at that time I was like crying, begging him to come. Immediately when I left the kitchen crying and clean up my eyes and the tears, and I went to my mother's room. There was a little window in her room. I came to her. My mother was like, "Why are you crying? What happened?" And that was when I would start talking to her to explain why I was crying. And I said, Mom, you should see, they don't know God. When I was talking to her, all this was very, very fast, did not take too long. Was like, see the comment, and could not understand the jargons, and I could not see God in there. And I stand up, I walk to the kitchen, I start crying, asking him to come, because people need to know him. Need to know him. This is obvious. And then I was cleaning up my eyes and the tears and walked to my mother's room. This was a few minutes, not more than 5 minutes, less than that, maybe 2, 3 minutes, I don't know. And when I was talking to my mother, I looked through the window and I saw the sky start turning. Was clear sky, clear, blue, beautiful. The city was in kind of suburb, small. No airplanes, was not a route for airplanes at all. We never see airplanes in the air. Is kind of place where the sky is very clear and you see many stars. You know those places in the woods, whatever, that you can see very clear the sky, beautiful blue. This is the kind of sky in this place where we used to live. But the sky started turning. Everything was turning. I don't know how to tell you, but it was turning. And then a letter, large A. At that time, I had no knowledge about anything in Hebrew, nothing. And I saw a letter, and I saw a small letter E, laying down, E, that later I found out is small omega. I don't know. I mean, I just wanna tell you what happened and what these people are trying to do. They are trying to copy, to reproduce, to make to make this be not true or whatever. So I need to tell you what happened. And I saw the letters, and I saw a small cross close to the letters. I saw a snake with fire, with the tongue of fire. I saw the fire coming from her tongue. It was a tongue of fire. And all this was very fast. There was no airplane. There was nothing. The sky was blue. But then it starts showing these images that was in clouds, white clouds. Everything was white, beautiful. But not around, just the things he wants to show. The clouds for the letter was in clouds, the snake, but that was real fire, the tongue I saw. But it moved to form other things, the same thing forming other thing. And then my mother was, what is that? That is that or whatever. And my mother was partially blind. She can see well, but I thought, well, maybe she's having difficulty. And we had a very small camera, and with 2 batteries, 3 or whatever. And I grabbed the camera and ran downstairs. We live in the 2nd floor in an old house. I ran outside, screaming, "It's my Lord, he heard me, he's here, he came, he heard me." And I went downstairs with the camera and I start taking pictures. This was just for picture camera, was not for making movie or whatever. If it is, I didn't know how to use it. I don't think so. It was just for picture, but I took picture, and I start taking pictures. I was so happy because he heard me. He came. He wants you to know him. And it was moving. And I took a picture. I saw a shield. And the shield start moving, changing, and from the shield came a sword, the lance, the torch, and the torch had a fire, real fire. I saw it in the picture. It shows do not show the fire I saw, but I saw the fire and the torch and the smoke, lots of smoke coming from the torch. Was beautiful. And I kept taking pictures because it was kind of fast. And what else? Oh, the law, the Torah. I believe, it, of course, was the Torah. And it kept moving and changing. And this was like dissolving in the air and moving to the right to form the cross and the image of Yeshua, the Lord, God holding the cross and the face of Yeshua there, because they are one. So God holding the cross, and you cannot see the face of God, but you see the face of Yeshua laying on the arms of God. So meaning that they are one. The face is the face of God. And behind God was another figure, with the head covered. So this kind of the same way as God, the head with something covering his head, and a light coming from behind, like a door or a gate, maybe from heaven. So, and then this start dissolving in the air, and on the bottom was like blood. On the bottom was like blood, and was dissolving again, as the timing for Shabbat is very short, until to end when the sun goes down, and everything starts getting darker and darker and darker, and that's it. And the sky was clean again, with stars, and I took pictures to show my mom, and I kept that without making, it's like a relationship with God. It's not to scream to the world things and show up and show off. This is not the way with him, and to the right time, to show people, and I remember, I think I published something, and told them, after talking to this person, I make some comments. I was crying to God, and he came immediately. So I want you to know, what happened was between me and God. He don't have an airplane. This is ridiculous. God is not a pilot. He don't spray things from the airplane. It's not like this. So they are trying to, I don't know the word, but you understand me, right? They are trying to make this be not true, or they can do the same, or they are able to do the same thing, or this is not God, but it is. It is God. Was many years ago. And I believe a decade ago, a little bit more. I just want to tell you that was not like long time to do it, and no, I received the comment was like pages of jargons, religious jargons, and God was not there. I didn't see a word talking and or saying anything, mentioning God's name or whatever. Was just jargons about religion and church and rituals, and I was desperate. I stand up, I walk to the kitchen, and I cry out to God for Him to come. They need to know you. They don't know you, Father. They need to know you. Please, you need to come back quickly. They need to know you. And He came immediately. I was talking to Him, and I walked from the kitchen. I walked to my mother's room, and when I looked through the sky, through the window in my mother's bedroom, the sky was start turning. It was like a tornado thing, just like that, a tornado. Just woo, 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 and stopped. It's like it's God's thing. It's I cannot explain. It's God's way. And the letter A, the letter E, it's like an E, right? Semicircle together too. It's letter E, laying down E, omega. Huh? Alpha and omega. I didn't know. With time, this takes years. It's not like boom, boom, boom now. No, take years. God put in my mind and my heart things in Hebrew. I'm not Jew. At that time I had no idea. I thought it was letter A, and then I figured out that it was Alpha and the little E, and then after that I started having understanding about God and who He is. He showed me things. It's not visions or whatever. It's inside, in the heart. He showed you. He put in your mind truth. Even in Hebrew. If you talk to me in Hebrew, I don't understand a thing. But when it's from Him, I know what it is. Sometimes I have to look over, to Google a little bit, because I don't know some symbols, some letters in Hebrew. I don't know. And I Google a little, and then I find out what He showed me and what it means. Everything I show you is from Him. Before we moved to this city where He came, I was, well, let's go back in time. When I was very little, I was maybe 2 years old, 3 years old. I was very little, not taller than. I was in my aunt's house. Was a birthday going on there. I believe it was my aunt. And I was standing in the sofa, and I remember. I remember things with God is not like things with other people that when you're a child you forget. But with God, it stays in the memory. It stays in you. You don't forget. Um, all experience with God is unforgettable. Everything that passed from that or before that, I don't remember. But everything that is with him, I remember as if now, if it's happening now. So he came, he was with me, I was singing, and I saw him floating in the air. And there was two others there, checking people out, looking like this, like curious about things. And I was like, whoa. I was like looking. And he came to me. And it's another thing. He makes you sleep. This happens until now, until those days. He makes me sleep, fall asleep when I'm talking to him or praying to him or having a conversation or talking to him. And I sometimes I'm very tired, and I just feel so tranquil, in peace, and I fell asleep. He and I had this experience since I remember was my first one. I don't know if when I was baby, and then it's too much. I was baby. I cannot remember. But and I was really, really little. But before he coming in the clouds of heaven, he gave me a little heart. And let me tell you this. I'm very, very linked to him. Everything in my life, I talk to him. Is him. I feel his presence. And I was very sad because my life is very simple. I have nothing. And I work for the day to pay rent, to pay the bills, to buy food. And I was very short with my bills, whatever. And I decided to go out and walk. And I started walking, crying. I cry a lot. And I stopped by a tree. And I was very sad, and I knew he was with me, comforting me, and something fell on my feet. I remember I took a step to keep walking from that tree where I stopped to cry. And when I turned to give a step to start walking away, I something fell in just by my feet, and I look and oh wow, it's a little heart, cute. I grabbed the heart. Was a little stone. I like the shape, and there was a little sheep, a toy, right by the heart. And I grabbed both. Oh, that's cute. I love toys. Um, I like that little uh, um, tiny little. I don't know how to say in English, but I like it. And I grabbed that the stone and the little ship, and I kept with me. I remember, I don't know if I can say this, but I kept in my shirt, close to my chest, to be very close to me. I knew it was from God. It's mine. God gave to me. And I had for quite a while, for a year or so, I never stopped to look. For me, it was just a stone, but it was very special because God gave me. And if I lost or whatever, I got crazy. Where's my heart? Where's the stone God gave me? And I start looking around it until I found. Oh my God! I found it. You know, I knew it was God. He gave to me. It's very special. One day, I I was driving, going somewhere, and I decided I kept the little heart and the sheep together all the time, and I decided to get it and hold in my hand, just to hold in my hand, to stay close to me while I was going to some place to do something, just protection. I don't know. And I just look, no, to the heart, and there's something here. This is something writing right here. These are letters? What is that? And I start looking and looking and look, and I saw the sheep there with the cloud, and the alpha that I saw in the sky, and everything was there. And I took picture. So my God, is the lamp, and the letters I saw, and the little cross. And later on, when I started learning, God teach me everything. Hebrew, I found out that the cross is Tav. Tav and Alpha. Tav. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and I showed you the pictures, the little stone. So later on, I didn't see this when I got the stone from him. Was later on, I believe he was nothing there, and then he put things in there. Everything is the right time with him. Takes time for him to manifest himself, to show you things. Is his will, not your will, not what you want to see, not what you want to be, but what he wants. And that's the truth. I hope you to understand what really happened, and see that everything that I show you and I tell you comes from God, not man, not me. It's from him. And when I say to you, he wants you to know him, this is true. And with the time, he showed me things, words, and what the prophets said, the words of the prophets, everything he showed me. He put in there. When I use my phone. I have no computer. It was old one. It's gone. So everything is in my phone. And when I'm Googling or just turn it on my phone, it shows there. And okay, I read, I start, looking about that, the meaning, what this mean, when this was written, or who wrote, or what my Lord wants me to see. And he shows me, and I show you, and I tell you, nothing is from me. It's all God's work. Everything that I show you, that I published there, he showed me. He put in there for me to see. And I have to show you. So I want you to understand, to know what happened when he came in the clouds of heaven. What these people are doing, they are trying to copy, to make like the same. They want to be as God. This is a long story about Belial. Do you think I came up with this name? He gave me this understanding. Everything that I know, names and Hebrew stuff, is God. He put it in my heart for me to show you. Because he wants you to know him, who he is truly. And he wants you to worship him as he is. It's simple. So this is what happened. And please, it's very difficult for me to see all this that's happened in the sky and in the world. And it's very difficult for me. You have no idea. When I'm filming or taking pictures, and this is very sad. It's very sad. It's not God's. This is people, crazy people. It's poor madness. Engineers that is coming up with crazy stuff about robots and AIs. And so I want you to understand that everything that I show you is true and came from God. Is true, is the clouds of heaven. There was no airplanes. It's impossible. It's impossible. Everything moved and changed from one shape to another. The shield became a sword, and the lance, and the torch, and the fire, and the smoke, and then move, dissolve in the air, and move to the right to form the cross. From one thing, many. And one came to other, and one came to other. And this was very fast. Was fast. Not fast, but it was fast. And then this, at the end, was dissolving and disappear. And the sky became beautiful again. So I want you to understand what these people are trying to do. I received 2 times 2 messages from YouTube people asking me for companies to use the content of It's for Peace to train AI. I never talked to them. Inside of me, I was no, what else? What? My channel is about God. He wants people to know Him. And I'm thinking to myself, when I saw those, I never talked to no one, was to myself, and I say, you are deaf. Your thing is deaf. I'm about life, God. Imagine, and I just exit that thing. I never answered. And then the second time, the same thing. I did the same thing. And I decided to write something, statement, and I published in It's for Peace for you all to see that no, I don't give permission. No, this is God. Even if I want, I can't. It's God's thing. It's God's work. Belongs to God, to you, to see, to know Him. But the Lord showed me Belial, how Belial is in. Recently, he showed me Mammon, to get understanding about this Elon Musk, whatever, and this government. Is all about money and power, and because they are rich, they don't know anything else but money and gold. And so, and he showed me now, before it was Belial, because he showed me who the woman, mother of Ishmael, was. Belial, in woman form, and now with this monster in AI engineering, he showed me Mammon. I didn't know about Mammon. Is an entity, very powerful entity, that goes inside people, usually people in high rank, men in men world, like politicians, people, this kind of people that holds power over many, who don't know, who cannot lose, always winning, making money, so this is Mammon. You may don't believe, but this is true. Those entities are real. I had an experience, many experiences, but one of them, I told you, I published also. I travel. When I say I travel, it's the soul. And even if I travel in the water, I was, I can, I can breathe. How come I'm in the water, but I still can breathe? Is a soul thing. It's not like, it's like if you are alive, there is no death. So, but it's not flesh, but you feel like you breathing. You feel like you are in flesh, but you are not. So even under the water, I can't breathe, but I am under the water. And that was an experience with the devil. I travel, but this time was in the air, to another realm. I and I usually, it's a little difficult to explain to you. I was not hiding, but I was like staying there in the corner, not corner, but kind of hiding, um, uh, just looking, observing. I was observing, and the place was not dark at all. There was no light, but it was not dark, and there was kind of people moving, but not moving. It was like in slow motion, kind of. Was like in a under under city, without windows or doors, but it was kind of under place. Was not dark at all. And there was, and one of them noticed me, and he turned and looked at me, and he asked me, "What's your name?" I had no idea, and as much as I thought about my name to answer or whatever, I could not remember my name, as if I had no name. And he said again, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Oh my, I, I don't have a name." I could not remember. It was like if I had no name at all. And he asked me the third time, "What is your name?" And then I pointed, put my finger up, I stand my arm up to heaven, and I say, "My name, only my God knows my name." Immediately he backed up, and all others that were there, suddenly it was lots of them, multitudes. They start how do you say, a iman, attracting them fast together, forming one. All of them, many heads, one with many heads. And this one, the principal one who asked me my name, was in front of them. And all of them made one with this guy, but all heads were there behind him, all together. And this one pushed the air inside of him, or them. They gave him this force to push the air. Push the air strong inside of him. Like in the lungs, I don't know. And his face was like big, like two balls with the air. And he just blew me out with this air. He put the air out, blowing me with such force that I flew away, and I was like a leaf, a dry leaf, flying in the air with the wind. I felt like this. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I woke up. When I opened my eyes, I was laying down. I was laying down in my bed. When I opened my eyes and came back to me, I was out of air. I when you out of air, and then you, and I just sit down and look around and 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 uh, it takes some time to come back to this world. So this is one experience that I told you before, and I had many, but with the time, maybe I write to you and tell you. So what I want to tell you is, the story is, I was exchanging comments. I just say no or yes to someone, and he, for some reason, he wrote me pages and pages with religious jargon, and I could not find a single word of God, about God, God's name, or referring to God, nothing, just to his religion and what he does, he thinks, for salvation, going to church and things like that. And I was desperate, and I start crying heavily, and I walk to the kitchen, and I start crying to God, Father, please, you need to come. But I was crying. Now I'm just telling you what happened. But I was crying. And the tears was a lot of tears. My face was completely wet with tears. And I asked him, you need to come. You need to show yourself. And this was like just like I'm telling you now what happened, very fast. And I walked from the kitchen to my mother's bedroom. When I looked through her window, the sky turned like a tornado and was clear. Was not winter, was not raining, was not cold, was a regular day. Not hot, not cold, regular. The sky was beautiful, normal, regular day. But it was like a tornado outside, and we stopped and look, and then I saw the letter A and this little E, that later on I learned the A was alpha and the E is omega. The lowercase. He used to lowercase omega. I don't know why. I never asked him why. Maybe someone knows why. A Jewish scholar, maybe a rabbi knows why God uses lowercase omega. I don't know. But this is how is in the stone, and he showed in the clouds of heaven. So now I hope you understand and see that God is one and He is truth. No matter what they try to do with fake clouds and try to imitate the color, the white and the gray and red is all imitation from what I showed you in It's for Peace channel. So that's what happened. I truly hope you see truth as truth is, because they are trying to ridiculize or improve, or I don't know what they are up to. This is crazy. Makes me very sad. But I hope you stay in peace and know God as He is and worship Him as He wants you to worship Him. And everything He shows me, He's very sudden. Even when He show me things, it's like boom, and I see, and I'm very I like to see, to understand, to, if I write something, need to be according to His will. So if, like when I saw the letter A, I thought it was an A, huge letter A, and was not, was alpha. So from this example, I everything God shows me, I go further to see if how this is in Hebrew, and to write to you the right thing, not what I want, not what I see, because I can't say A is, and it's not A, is alpha. So this is the truth, and it's nothing by myself. I'm just a tool. He does the work. Everything is Him. In another time, I will talk to you about when He came to walk, and I showed you also. He is the boss. God is the one that do the work. I do nothing. I'm nothing. So hope you'll be in peace, and may God bless you and guide you and stay with you in all times, in bad times, good times, times of persecution, times of happiness. May He be with you and guard you from evil. Do not let evil get you. But it depends on you too. You need to say no to evil. You need to walk away from evil. It's not like, I trust God, I will stay here with the evil. No, don't do that. You have to walk away. You have to walk away from evil. Say no to evil. You need to be strong. You know history. Moshe was a very strong man, courageous, strong. And he had a relationship with God as well. But he was strong. He was a guy that take action. So you need to be strong too, okay? Don't think, oh, God will do this for me. No. You have to do it. You have to go for it, or go away from evil, or walk apart, or stay away from multitudes, things like that. And I hope you stay in peace, and all the best to you all. And that's it. In another time, I will tell you how was God coming to walk to you, and remember, the Lord told you the Holy Spirit was coming to you, to not shut the door on Him. Be in peace. Talk to you later.